From Television City in Hollywood, it's Critical Decisions. With guest stars Michael Landon, Donna Mills, and William Shatner. And here's the host of Critical Decisions, Eric Boardman.
Thank you, and welcome to Critical Decisions, America's favorite new watch and win show where your opinion could be worth millions. Hey, let's get to it right away. Here's your first critical decision. Now, has this ever happened to you? It's a special occasion. Two people in love have made the ultimate sacrifice. That's right, they've taken their gold card to the limit to buy the perfect gift.
Your turn.
Oh, I can't wait. This looks terrific. Fine. A girl with some class. Sergio Buffoni. I don't think I've ever heard of that label.
Really? Well, the girl who sold it to me in Rodeo Drive said everyone's going Buffoni.
Wow. Ah, gee.
Really, if you don't like it, you can take it back. But I think it's you.
Oh, you shouldn't have. And I do mean she really shouldn't have. I say, what do I do? What would you do?
Anna, we've been there before. It's a ticklish situation. In the dilemma of the ugly sweater, what would you do? And more importantly, what do you think most Americans would do? Now, to find that out, we asked the Gordon S. Black Organization to pull this and all the questions for us. And here are the top 3 answers. Number 1, be honest. Well, and say you don't like it. Number 2, tell a white lie and say you do like it. Or number 3, damage it somehow. Accidentally on purpose. This way you don't have to wear it. Okay? Now, by the way, all of our celebrity guests are playing for their favorite charities. And if they can persuade our decision makers to go along with them, their charities will receive even more. Now, Bill, we're going to start with you. What do you think was the most popular answer?
Well, first of all, if the girl said it's so you, and they got to get a divorce right now. I know, it's a difficult decision to make. But I think you should tell a white lie. And get a white sweater.
So Bill says, tell a white lie. We got an audience full of fibbers here today, possibly. All right, Donna, what would you do?
I probably would say I didn't like it. I probably would, my face would tell the story. I'm an actress, but my face would tell that I just wasn't happy. But I think what the American public will say will be to tell the truth.
So you think Americans will say be honest?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, she says be honest. Michael Landon, you're an angel. Do they lie?
You better believe they do, pal. I went through this once with a shirt. It had very large puff sleeves and lace on the cuffs.
Very nice.
Because this particular person liked the Harry Belafonte look with the big V down the front in satin, and I said I liked it, and I ended up with those in about 14 colors. So, I mean, I'd be flat out honest about it, but I don't think the average person would be. I think it's kind of like damaging it accidentally. I think they're going to say that it was lost in the cleaners.
Sure.
What a shame, and you just pray she can't find a replacement.
Damage it accidentally, get it out of sight. All right. The 3 votes are split all the way down the middle. Now, you have heard the panelists express their opinions, but let's meet tonight's decision makers who have to make a tough decision. John Harlan.
Please welcome a music teacher from Valencia, Leanna Nelson.
Hi, Leanna.
And also a computer salesman from Corinth, Brad Bradbury.
Brad, all right. Good to meet you. Good to have you here, and we wish you good luck. Now, here's how we play. We're going to start off by giving you $5,000 apiece. Now, one and only one of you will earn the right to answer. Now, you do that by outbidding your opponent. If you can win the bidding and select the most popular answer, we'll pay you double the amount you bid. However, if you're incorrect, the amount of the bid goes over to your opponent. Now, consider that strategy for a moment. How well do you really know what America's thinking? Decision makers, you're going to lock in secret bids right now. 1, 2, 3, go. And by the way, if they're right, we'll award the celebrity's charity the same amount if that celebrity also picked the most popular answer. Okay, bids are locked in. Let's reveal your bids. Leanna bid 600. Brad went for 1,000. You've got the right to do it, Brad. Brad, you've wagered 1,000. You can win 2,000. You got to make the critical decision. What's America thinking here?
Well, I'll tell you, Eric, I tried number one, be honest and say you don't like it, and I've still got the scar. But I think the best and the safest way is what William Shatner said. I think to tell a white lie.
All right. For $2,000, he says America would lie to find out the most popular answer. Let's go back to our Christmas couple.
Well, what do you think? You do like it, don't you?
It's great. And so are you. I love it.
Bill Shatner said, tell a white lie. That's what America thinks. That was worth $2,000 for you, Brad.
He's such a liar.
Anyway, that lie was worth $2,000 to you, Brad. You now have $7,000. You're holding pat at $5,000. When we come back, a critical decision about the future of America's economy, and that could be good news about the future of your own personal economy if you play the Critical Decisions phone game at home, where yesterday alone, get this, 4,000 winners. Now, tomorrow, you could be one of them. More about that right after this. Before we jump into tonight's next critical decision, here's how you can play the game at home. Now, all you need is an opinion and a touch-tone phone. For each of the show's remaining critical decisions, just jot down how you would have answered each question. In other words, what would you do? Then, you call our 900 phone line, and I'll ask you which answer you would choose for each critical decision and the percentage of the people in our polling that you think agree with you. It's that simple. Your decision counts.
If you called in and played after yesterday's show, pay attention. Here are tonight's winning combinations. On the question about dating, if you called and entered Decision 1 and 27%, congratulations, you picked a winning combination. Here are the other winning combinations. Decision 2 drew 19%. Decision 3, 54%. On the Supreme Court issue, Decision 1, 11%. Decision 2, 47%. And Decision 3, 42%. And finally, on the topic of sex at the office, for Decision 1, 42%. Decision 2, 29%. Decision 3, also 29%. If you had any of these, you're a winner. Remember, all of our daily winners are automatically entered in our weekly drawing. This week's prize pool, a cool $250,000 provided by Critical Decisions.
Well, how did you do at home? Thank you, John Harlan, by the way. Now for our next critical decision, let's take a walk down Main Street, USA. This critical decision is all about the rapidly changing face of American big business. Of course, even the biggest American businesses may have had some very humble beginnings. If the business prospered, it captured the attention of others who saw a good opportunity to own a piece of the great American dream. In recent years, the result has been an unprecedented wave of mergers, acquisitions, and friendly takeovers initiated by Japanese, German, and British conglomerates. The impact of these mega deals? Well, some uniquely American businesses are now in foreign hands. Now, a lot of people think that the president should do something about foreign investment in the U.S. So, our poll takers posed this critical decision. If you were the president, what would you do about it? Well, here are 3 possible courses of action. Number 1, continue to allow it. Hey, it's good for the economy. Number 2, stop it completely, I mean right now. Or number 3, regulate it. You could sponsor a bill requiring government approval for future foreign investments. All right, Donna, this time we're going to start things out with you.
Probably the American public would say introduce a bill to regulate it and to make it a more fair trade system where they have to let us invest in their country as much as they invest in ours.
All right, so you say introduce a bill to regulate it. Yeah. Okay. And a bunch of people agree with you. Michael Landon.
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is the United States actually has far more money invested in foreign countries than foreign countries have invested in the United States. So there really isn't an imbalance in that case. There does appear to be to an awful lot of people because an awful lot of work that used to be here is no longer here because of inexpensive labor, and I think that's what bothers people more than anything else. And I think the public's attitude is stop it right now. I think that's their attitude.
Oh, yeah. You say stop it. Let's continue this episode of Washington Week with Bill Shatner.
And my opinion is...
I think, and I think the American public thinks, in a free trade society, let it continue.
Laissez-faire, you say. Let it continue, Bill said. All right, the panel is split. Decision makers, lock in your secret bids right now. What would you do? What would you do in this case? We'll find out how America's thinking, but first of all, let's reveal those bids. Leanna bid $2,000. Brad said $1,500. Okay. You won it there. You won the right to answer. Leanna, now you're a school teacher, music teacher. Okay.
Yes.
You're wagering $2,000. You can win yourself $4,000 if you can tell me what America's thinking.
Well, I know what I'm thinking, and I think I'm fairly typical. I think everybody's getting mad, and we're saying that's it. I agree with Michael Landon. It's enough. Stop it. Let's get control of our country, make sure we're all living and doing good. Stop it right now.
All right. You're wagering $2,000. You win $4,000. Here's what America says. Regulate it. Regulate it. Based on what Donna Mills said. So you didn't win the $2,000. Hey, Brad, a break for you. That $2,000 goes over your way. What a commanding lead you've taken on now. $9,000 to $3,000. We will continue. Hey, if you're playing at home, remember to call our 900 phone number at the conclusion of the show, not now, and tell us what you think. Make your decision pay off. Coming up next, a critical decision about the big three: love, marriage, and money. Right then. American style in the 1990s has often meant the inclusion of that tender, heartwarming phrase, prenuptial agreement. Now, you and your spouse are getting a divorce. You signed a prenuptial agreement, but since that time, your spouse's wealth has just grown by leaps and bounds. Sound familiar? Or if the Trumps are watching. Anyway, you realize you could lead a very comfortable life if you could only get your hands on some of that money. Now, what would you do? Well, let's find out how some of the members of our studio audience feel. Young lady, how about you? What would you do in a prenuptial agreement situation?
I would never sign a prenuptial agreement. I mean, that's just not what people do when they're in love.
Ah, romantic. Okay. Okay. Certainly a valid point. How about you, sir? Would you stand up? What would you do?
Well, if I signed it, I'd have to honor it. I mean, I'd expect my wife to, so.
So you say honor it. Okay, honor it. Certainly a... Ooh, it's a mean crowd. Okay. How about you, sir?
I'd fight for half the current assets. If she's worth that much, I won't have the credit, half the cash, you know? I mean, that's the way.
Okay, fight for it. Fight for it. How about you? Now, would you fight for it? What would you do?
No, I'd try for reconciliation, and you'd save aggravation and money.
Okay, and romance may blossom again, you say? Certainly all good, viable thoughts. So we've got honor the agreement, fight for half the assets, or reconcile. Now, stars, what do you think was the most popular answer? And this time we're going to start with Michael. What would you do?
What did I do? This is a very tough question for an angel because I never met a divorce lawyer in heaven. My feeling is that it's really taken out of everybody's hands because by the time the attorney gets through with the spouse, she's going to want half. And I think that spouse is going to want half the assets. I think it's 2.
And you think America says fight for half the assets?
Yes, I think that's what they said.
Not just the lawyers, it's America. William Shatner.
Well, if you take the Trump example, and you realize that she signed an agreement, and she fought for half the assets, but she got a little bit more than what the agreement called for. I think, in effect, she had to honor the agreement, and I think that's what she should do, and I think that's what America would do with a contract.
Honor the agreement. So Donna, what would you do?
I, again, go for the honorable thing. I think I would honor it. I think that when you make that kind of agreement, you should honor it, and no matter what happens, either party can then go their way and make their own money. And well, that's what I would do, Michael.
I was just trying to read your eyes.
No, it's true. Particularly from a woman's point of view, I've always thought it was rather degrading that women would fight so hard to get half of a man's assets.
So you say honor it.
Yeah, you betcha.
That's what Donna says. Okay, we got some agreement there. William and Donna say honor it. What does America say? All right, decision makers, it's time. Once you're going to lock in those secret bids, please do it right now. Brad's got $9,000. Leanna, you got $3,000 here. We'll find out how America's thinking. This should be intriguing. Okay, locked in. Let's reveal them. Leanna bet $1,000. Brad went for $2,500. Okay. Brad, you're a salesman. Let's see if these folks sold you on the answer.
Boy, that honor the agreement is really it's a good thought, isn't it? But it's just not the American way. I think I'm going to go with the pro, and I'm going to go with Michael and say number 2.
His veteran experience, okay. You say fight for the half of the assets.
Yes, sir.
If you're right, you win $5,000. If not, you got yourself an extra $2,500. America, guess what? You're an honorable country. They say honor the agreement. Honor the agreement. Right here. Honor the agreement. Oh, I'm sorry, Brad. $2,500 added to your score. Leanna, you're catching up. Oh, we got a tight game. Leanna's got $5,500. Brad, you got $6,500. We'll debate this during the commercial. If you're playing at home, remember to call our 900 phone number at the conclusion of the show and tell us what you think. Make your opinion pay off. Coming up next, tonight's final winner take all. It's going to be a good battle. Critical decision right after this. Tonight's final critical decision. Has this ever happened to you? You and your mate come home from a lovely evening out, and the last thing you expect is to have to make this critical decision.
Yeah, you go on up. I'll be up soon.
Hi, Ted. It's Mike. The contracts are ready. I'll get them over to your lawyer tomorrow.
Hi, Teddy. It's Rhonda. I know it's been a long, long time, but I'm in town, and...
Any messages for me?
And I'd really love to see you. It's a take an ex-fiancé to dinner week, isn't it? I'm at the Hilton. Call me, please.
What should I say? What should I do? What would you do?
Okay, panel. Rhonda has called What the Heck Do You Do? Here are 3 courses of action. Number 1, ignore the message. Better safe than sorry. Who needs the trouble? Number 2, tell your spouse. Oh, he or she will understand. And number 3, rendezvous secretly with the ex. Some healthy libidos in this audience, huh? Bill Shatner, what the heck would you do?
Well, you remember when he went, ah? Well, that's an Americanized version of the Tarzan Jane yell. I'll be up soon. He said, ah. So ignore the message and go up there.
Ignore the message. Ignore the message. In other words, beam me upstairs, Scotty. I had to do it.
Deadly.
Donna.
I think you put yourself in jeopardy if you don't tell your spouse. Maybe she already listened to the messages. Maybe she beeped into the messages from her office earlier and already heard it and is waiting to hear if you're going to tell her.
You say tell your spouse. Tell your spouse. Okay. Honesty may work. You know, Mark Twain said, tell the truth, there's less to remember. Michael Landon, what would you do?
Well, I think probably a great deal has to do with how she voted on the prenuptial question. No, you know, I don't think there's any question here that, I mean, you tell your spouse, there's no big deal. It's not like she called up and said, I really enjoyed the dinner we had last week. It's somebody who calls up. I mean, why wouldn't you tell your wife about it?
You say tell your spouse. Okay. 2 strong votes. Once again, we're looking at what America thinks. Now, decision makers, this is your final decision, the most critical of the day. This determines who goes home a winner. Now, I'll give you a moment to lock in the amount of your bid. Hey, no ceiling. The sky's the limit. Go for it. Lock it in right now. What would you do? Has this happened to you? Okay. Bids are locked in. Leanna, you bid $5,500. She went for everything. Brad went for $4,000. Okay. Let's see if this moment of courage paid off. If you're betting $5,500, you can win $11,000, Leanna, if you can make the critical decision and tell us what America would do. If incorrect, Brad gets the $5,500 and wins the game. For all the marbles, now wait for the beep. Beep! What's your answer?
I'm going to agree with Mr. Shatner, because I really think most people are going to just ignore it and, you know, we're staying married.
Better off
staying
pretending
happy.
it never happened.
That's
Ignore
it.
the message, okay.
I didn't get it.
If you're right, you win the game. If you're incorrect, what do you think America said? America said, number 1, ignore the message. Congratulations, Leanna. Way to go. Way to go. I'm surprised, too. You've just won $16,500. Yeah. Sorry you didn't win, but you don't go home empty-handed. $500 cash from us, and we wish you better luck with future decisions. All right. And there's more good news. Stars, you've made a lot of decisions today, decisions that made a difference. Added the amount of money you've already won for your charity, William Shatner, we're giving $38,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And Donna Mills, we're sending $25,000 to the Earth Communication Office, Environmental Group. And Michael Landon, we're awarding $25,000 to the Free Arts for Abused Children. That brings our total contribution this week to charities over $150,000, courtesy of the Critical Decisions Foundation. And we want to thank you 3 for making the right decision and being with us here today. Thank you a lot. Had a good time. And for you at home, your chance to win is just beginning. Call our 900 phone number and make your opinion count. You can turn your decisions into dollars. See you tomorrow on Critical Decisions. Bye-bye.